Third speaker is my colleague Aleš Gabriš, also coming from the Institute of Contemporary History. He'll be too talking about the same border, the Slovenian and Croatian border, but he'll be dealing with the period after the Second World War. His paper is entitled Border Changing Between Slovenia and Croatia near Gradin after the Second World War. Aleš, please.
Thank you, Jure. Now, of course, we will talking about...
I forgot to introduce you. I said only that you're my colleague from the Institute, but...
Okay, Aleš Gabriš. 2 words, that's enough. Now we will go back to the, as Jure mentioned, the, how do I say, cruel Schengen border, which was...
I said only wired.
Schengen border, which was not that before in Yugoslavia. To see a few points, which I will have to bring out. The problem of internal borders in Yugoslavia occurs after the federalization of the state, when all the republics get their statehood. Slovenia and Croatia comes constitutional states in Yugoslavia, and from that time we can talk about Slovenia-Croatian border. Among nationalists, Croatian and in Slovenian side, of course, you will find using and abusing of an old map from the Middle Ages, not to go back. But when we can talk about Slovenia and Croatia, and their border is about, of course, when they get federal status in Yugoslavia, and when the Constitution of Federal Peoples of Yugoslavia said in this Article 12 that the demarcation of the territory of the People's Republic is implemented by the People's Assembly of the Yugoslavia. The boundaries of the People's Republic cannot be altered without its consent. The problem was that already in the Constitutional Assembly there was rumors and the questions. How do we can talk about how to alter, how to change the borders if we did not say where the borders are? And that was the problem, because those borders were never enacted. That means the president of the Federal Assembly said, okay, we will bring in a year an act in which we will say the boundary between Slovenia and Croatia will go here, 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 and here. But that act between Croatia and Slovenia and between other republics were never bringing up to the parliament, so that was the problem. Analysis of the Yugoslav Committee for the Borders mentioned already in the previous paper from October 1946 mentioned 2 controversial points between Slovenia and Croatia. One was already mentioned in the Strigova case. I mentioned also another one, but then we will go to the southern border. And I said in that paper also was written confirmation in the law, but as I said, that law never came to an assembly. Just to see here, the People's Republic of Slovenia in 1955, that means after the London Memorandum, when Slovenia and Croatia get the last part of the free territory of the Trieste, Slovenia had those cities at the Adriatic Sea and became the republic in the border it's held to today. And these are the disputed points between Slovenia and Croatia. One is because of the Mura River changing its flow. There we can see Strigova as it was described. And to mention, from this point to this point is one of the oldest borders in the Balkans, in the Central Europe, the borders which was from the Middle Ages, the borders between Holy Roman Empire and then the Kingdom of Croatia. And the lowest number of the disputes between Slovenia and Croatia nowadays are in this region, which were bordered for the long time. Only example is, of course, why the border is, let's say, so clear, because the majority of the borders are on the river. And the problem occurs where the river changes through, for example, Sotla to Sava River, or those points are what we heard before about military frontier. frontier. Also, a little part of this was also a part of the land, Rhineland, that bit of Austrian part, which became, after it was incorporated, all the military frontier to the Croatia, also a part of the Croatia. And because there was for centuries there were no border, there also were some problems where because of the military frontier was also all incorporated in Croatia, then becomes some problems. And we will talk about this issue, Gradin, when we hear also here year 1956. Why? Because that problem was, let's say, the only problem which was solved in a manner like it was prescribed in the Constitution. That means that all the assemblies of the People's Republic agreed, and that then it must be confirmed at the Federal Assembly of the Belgrade. As I said, after the Second World War, the Yugoslav and Italian border changed twice. First, of course, after the peace treaty with Italy in February 1946, this was a pre-war border between Italy and Yugoslavia, and then after the peace treaty, those border was made to this, and there was a free territory of the Trieste. All those territories was under military control. Zone A of Julia and Zone A later of the Free Territory Trieste was under jurisdiction of the Anglo-American military administration, and Zone B of first Julia, and then of those parts, it was the Free Territory of Trieste, was under military government of the Yugoslav army. And those parts was also divided into Slovene and into Croatian part. And what was the problem? For the centuries, there were no borders in west-east line. There was always three borders from the time of the Venetian Republic in the north-south line. Now, when this territory was incorporated in Yugoslavia, it was made a census of the local inhabitants, and Marian Mars, who was then a school teacher in the community we will talk about the Gradin, of course, educated man, was responsible for census, and said many of them did not know what they are. And this is the problem also mentioned in Raskežje or some areas where it's always the problem of national identity. They wanted to be Eastern by nationality, not just at that time when some Slovenian journalists came to that territory in the last decade. They also got some responses. First we were Istrians, then we were Slovenes. And yet everyone was talking from the time as being the very pure Slovene, and Lorik here and there comes usually Italian and Croatian word. It was necessary to convince people that they decided for Slovenian nationality. That means this is the role of how can we believe in all the censuses where we have in some places nowadays Slovenian and Croatian border, we can find in different censuses from the Austrian period to the second Yugoslavia. For example, for some for some villages, changing of national structure from the great majority of Italian to the great majority of Croatian to the great majority of Slovene, without some very big immigration processes going on. Only two have insisted that they are Croats, and then they wrote that on the paper. The change of this, what was after 1940, what was before, in the part of those communities which now became a part of Slovenia, and the change was made in April of 1947, when with this paper, the district committee of Sežana, where they belonged, and Sežana is a northern city in Slovenia, sent them those letters in which they informed them that your territory is from this month the part of the is incorporated to the district Buzet, that means on the south to the Croatian Istria. We commend you that you will immediately step in contact with the district committee in Buzet, which will give you a further instruction. Then, of course, Slovenes didn't agree with that. So this is a quotation from Jure Belfront, who was a Slovene communist, one of the leading persons in the Communist Party of the Free Territory of Trieste, and high-ranking in the government of those B-zone under the command of the Yugoslav People's Army of the B-zone, of the Free Territory of Trieste. What can we say about if we read his memoirs? Everyone really could get an impression that there was a huge terror to the Slovenes, and of course, because of opposition or something like that, because of resistance, some of them were sentenced. I don't have some, let's say, other papers which could confirm me this, but let's say over 200 people have emigrated in places around the world. Of course, it was a big immigration from that territory, but I don't know if it is just because of the changing of the border. That part is economically underdeveloped. In that part was, like in Croatia, in the Slovenian part, a minority of Italians who could, after the peace treaty, opted for the Italy, so the majority of Italians, here it was a minority, opted for the Italy and moved to the Italy. And the second thing is, it was that the years, going to the years of the industrialization, which took, of course, place in the bigger cities, and more of them are northernly in the Slovenian territory. So many of people going migrated to the bigger cities because of the employment, not because of just for the changing of the border. Of course, and then fight for incorporation lasted for 8 years. I have found the trace for, let's say, 2 years. And some representatives of this local committee wanted to visit high-ranking members of the Yugoslav government. Pre-mentioned teacher Marian Mas, of course, he was, as an educated people, must write for in his opinion, his friend's opinion, memorandum for the Kardel and Tito. Kardel was the leading Slovenian, leading Yugoslav communist ideologue, but Kardel didn't want to receive them when they visited him in Belgrade, so that they submitted the memorandum to his secretary, and also old communist Ivan Regan wrote it to the Miha Marinu, who was at that time the president of the Slovenian government, that some Eastern villages that are next to Croatia, but population that wanted to be connected to Slovenia. The problem was that there was the local committee and the local politicians, let's say, did not follow the orders of that pre-showed Sežana words that you should step in the connection with the Buzet district committee. So the local committee stopped to work somehow. But let's see if there is so much harm. This is the terror. This is the letter 1 year later of those school teacher of the Slovene roots, Marian Mas. And we said 1 year later, when they were a part of Croatia, a seal, where they Okraj, this is the Slovene word for district, wasn't replaced with quarter. There is still an old seal with the coat of arms of the Republic of Slovenia of that time. What we can say, that this is kind of a show of resistance. One can say yes, but others can say no. Maybe they didn't have the money to change the seal or to change everything else, because as I say, local administration stopped to operate. And what we can find in the archives, local administration only started and began to function somewhere in the beginning of the 50s. And the local people's committee of Gradin, the first session after that where in the 1946 or 47 we can find just 6 years later in 1953. And in the papers we can see that they didn't even know how to say to that village, to that municipality. Slovenes used in the majority, not always, the word Graden. The Croats from the Buzet use Graden, and the Croatian upper committees from there use Graden with the Croatian. That means in the paper, communication was so bad that they didn't even know how to, let's say, what the name of this area is. This is what I wanted to show. The paper made in that period when we have in Yugoslavia prepared for the enactment of the new communal system in Yugoslavia, and it was preparing for the new divisions to the administrative unit. This new communal system should make communities bigger, and the old communities could take care for health control, school system. So instead of, let's say, in Slovenia after the Second World War, I don't know how many, 300 or 400 communities we have, and after 10 years after that, bringing out the communal system, we have 60 communities. That was so. How they put all these communities together? As we can see, the old borders of the, let's say, Austrian district, little communities. As I mentioned, in this territory, and we are talking about this territory, the borders in the previous century was majority in the north-south direction, and now the new direction was west and east. And there was no old border between some bigger district area. And of course, after the London Memorandum, also this part became a part of Yugoslavia. That means a northern part, a part of Slovenia, and a southern part, a part of Croatia. Now, what was the problem? Make a new communities, and the Gradin community and their local committee once again bringing out the question of where to belong. When they were talking about where is its place, the majority of the local committee representatives said we would like to join COPER, that means the Slovenian side. And at the beginning, in the first session, when we were talking to that issue, one of the representatives said, remember, this is not enough if we are just right into the COPER, because this is not their responsibility. We must write also this to Zagreb, Ljubljana, and to Belgrade, because by the constitution, only they can change the Republican government. 6 months later, when the municipality committee of Gradin was talking about where to join, in which bigger municipality, they have in the two possibilities, to the community COPER or to the community Buje, but all of them in the committee was voting for joining the COPER, that means Slovenia. And after that, the things went quite fast. The initiative then in the June 1955 was established a joint Slovenian-Croatian Commission for Border Issue in Istra, and 1 month later they have a session in Buje in the Croatian side, where they decide that the Executive Council of People's Republic of Croatia will suggest that this area is incorporated in the People's Republic of Slovenia. In the next month, both the assemblies, Slovenian and Croatian, adopted a decree, and after that, in March 56, assembly of the Yugoslav Assembly confirms the change of the border. My final conclusion. This is the only example between all of these views I shown at the beginning where the problem was solved in the manner in which the Constitution said. First, all the republics must agree with that, and Federal Assembly has to confirm. Of course, if in the Yugoslav time all the problems would be solved on in that matter, I think this is a bright example. Maybe we didn't have that problem after 1990s, and when the nationalists come to power in Slovenia and Croatia, we know what happened. Thank you.